Personnel. Raiders. Cold, hot, no matter what, we there.
That's right. Man, this episode, man, we're going to be talking about a crazy week, man. This game against the Chargers. This, where we at in the draft now, key players that we should be looking at next year. And then, of course,
number 6.
You know, the elephant in the room, man, AP's firing. Yep.
Some of us are sad off that, but we'll get to that.
Yep. I don't know. It's one of those crazy weeks, though. And that game against the Chargers, I thought these guys were going to pull it off. Had the lead in the first quarter. Second quarter, I think they had the lead 10-3.
Yep.
We had the lead all of a sudden,
2-minute warning.
AOC, even though he had 200-plus yards, throws that interception, changing the momentum of the game, huh?
Yep, that changed everything because from there we took the lead to not having the lead no more, and we never looked back.
Right.
I mean, it shouldn't have been such a debilitating interception, but, for everything that's been going bad for us, I guess that was it right there.
That's right.
But, Jacoby got his 1,000 receiving yards. So, congratulations. I think that's his first one ever.
Yeah.
So, young career, first one, with the carousel of quarterbacks, that's pretty amazing for him to have,
Right. Especially this year.
Especially this year.
Yeah.
And then, but, the cream of the crop, Brock, 112 receptions, ended it really well. Some people had doubt, because I think Malik Neighbors had 110 or something like that as the record.
Yeah.
And so, they didn't think he was going to win it, but he had a great game and, he got up and got the record.
Yeah.
Which is more impressive because Malik Neighbors is a wide receiver. He's supposed to get the ball all the time.
He's supposed to get that, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So for Brock, get that 112 receptions, and break the record. That's also a Raiders record as well for catching in general.
Right.
And he increased the yardage record as well. Wherever he ended up with, that's the record. So it was a great game for him. They did start it off with him early, and then he disappeared, and then they got him back going again. So that was good to see. And pretty much he gave us a chance to stay in there.
Yeah.
With our O-line did better than usual.
Right.
Just inaccuracies is what killed us again. And our defense did well. We kept them down to just field goals, in the whole first half.
Yeah.
And everybody's, the way people see Herbert's supposed to be one of these top 5, some people even say top 4.
I mean, he did have that 30-yard run there on the defense, but
that
was I mean, I don't see him run like that, and when you see AOC run, it's like a big difference, huh? I mean, it's like I feel like he's got bricks on his legs,
right?
Yeah.
Right, like his cleats are heavier than everyone else's.
But the defense pulled it off, a 3rd and goal. Over there they had a moment
they
there.
Kept
they
holding
them, and they show proof. And these are backups, dude. These are guys who aren't necessarily out there every day. So give props to the defense, man. So, exactly. I mean,
we're
held
playing
it
with
down for the year.
Exactly. We're playing with a depleted defensive line. If my understanding, everybody that's starting is a backup. You know what I'm saying? They're not the original starters. So
Adam
we
Butler
still got
veteran,
pressure.
Right?
Yeah, Adam Butler, and I think John Jenkins. I think he's still there. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but he's more of a run stuffer. But so I was really impressed with that. Spillane running around, that was amazing. Our corners, they're just beat up. There's nothing much we can say about them. The injuries really got to them. Even Nate Hobbs didn't look the same.
Yeah.
Which he's going into the contract year, so and I guess that might be a good thing that he might come cheaper. But we don't know how that's going to work. Right. But the defense is always keeping us in the game, like they've been doing it all year. Right. And then just at some point, they break down. You can't do too much after that. We're not moving the ball, 3 and outs, that interception. It's too much for our defense to handle.
Yeah, no, exactly. Jack Jones over there doing what he wants to do, and occasionally gets that.
Right, pretty much.
Which, he comes in handy, but he needs that safety in the back over there to trust.
Exactly.
And I never know we have some good performance by our safeties. I
Yeah.
mean, what are you gonna do with a wild child like that guy? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not
You're
saying
right.
I'm not
Exactly.
trying to down talk him. He's a great player and all. I'm just saying, you know, if his style of corner is to try to look for that interception or
Yeah.
just doing what he wants to kind of
Ball hawk.
freelancing,
Hmm.
yeah, then
Yeah.
you need that somewhat either a linebacker that's going to be back there helping him out or a safety, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, he
yeah,
can't be your number one.
right,
If we can get a number one corner, then you don't mind him taking those risks against the number two or number three guy. Somebody that won't beat him. And then yes, the other thing, like maybe it's the scheme has to be set different. So if he's
right,
like that, maybe you want him more in the zone schemes than the man schemes. But he does do pretty decent man sometimes. And it's the way he just reads the quarterbacks is what I like. But
hmm
yeah, sometimes just too many risks. In the beginning of the year, he was like horrible at tackling. Then he improved, and
yeah,
then it's kind of back and forth between there. Robert Spillane,
yeah.
just like he does every game, running around, the
He needs
energy of
help.
the
I thought
team.
Diablo was there the first half of the season to help him out, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
He just
And
kind of
so then he
dropped
got
off.
injured, came back, and then he
Right,
was like doing good 1 or 2 games. I
one or
think
two
there was like he had a
games.
sack one game where we're
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, yeah, Spillane's got help.
yeah.
And the last couple games, he's really just back out and
He kind
disappeared.
of dwindled out, but I mean, I'm sure he was doing his
Exactly.
part. But
Right. Right.
you saw more Snowden, a little bit more
Hmm.
Snowden,
Yeah,
things
Snowden
like
was
that.
definitely
So
putting his work. Kevin
yeah,
Chasian was definitely putting in
yep,
his work.
yep.
Tyree
No,
Wilson, man, I love his motor, man. He
no. There's
looks,
no. I'm not pleading for the D line, bro. The D line did its job. I feel like
yeah,
even with these injuries, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah. All
you
these
know,
guys are all backups,
yeah,
and they did their job, man.
yeah,
They did their job. Yeah, and this is against the Chargers who were
right.
trying to win because they had a
The
they
fifth
had a
spot, yeah,
it exactly it dedicated their spot. So it's not like they were just letting us do what we wanted to do.
right,
So we still had to actually beat them, and they were
exactly,
playing their hardest. So,
exactly. Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
just how it is. You know, we're not. I'm just glad the season's over. I would have loved to end it with a win, but it is what it is. There's some positives in that loss.
Most definitely, and one of
But,
them,
mhm.
with players you want to look at, and that's definitely that. Let us know who with Chase Young, right? With Tyree, he's going to do
Mhm.
better. Abdullah, if he comes
Butler,
back, I know he's a little older,
yeah.
but if he comes back, Sincere McCormick, that guy for sure. He's going to be
For
there next
sure,
year.
he's who I'm excited for.
Yeah,
I feel like they took him, injured reserve because it was towards the end of the season. They're like, yeah, you're not going to risk our, future back. I'm also not saying that they're not going to go look for somebody or even draft a
right.
running back,
Yeah,
but they should definitely keep him involved for sure.
yeah. No, we'll see
And
how
then,
he works out.
yeah,
And of course, King Brock. King Brock, what a highlight of the season this guy had. Now a Pro Bowler
oh my
and
god,
breaking records, all kinds.
starting
Maybe rookie of the year. I
Pro
don't know.
Bowler,
Knock on wood. we know Jaden might
right?
take it. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's unfortunately that it's a quarterbacks league because
yeah,
if you really just put stat to stats, like yeah, Jaden did good, but where was his stats at? Brock Bowers broke a record that hasn't been broken since Mike Ditka from a position that clearly doesn't show up on the stats at
hmm
that type of early. So that by itself should have just put him at the top. But because he's going against a quarterback, and Jaden Daniels did bring them into the playoffs.
yeah,
That's really the
yeah.
only
That's
reason
true.
why he'll
That's
probably
true.
win it.
Yeah,
But it should be Brock. It should be Brock hands down. Break
yeah,
two records, in 1 year with the two quarterbacks we had.
yeah.
Like you can't talk down about our quarterbacks and then not give this man the prize after what he's done.
Right,
I think he averaged about 10.7 yards per reception. He practically gave us a first down when he catch the ball.
man.
And
Yeah, exactly. Every
pretty
time.
much, yeah. You know,
That's
and
pretty
then
cool.
he wasn't alone.
Yeah.
Trey Tucker, I believe, had like the
Right.
most yards per reception, and he had like
Yeah.
the fourth or fifth
Yeah.
most catches.
There's some diamonds
And
in
I
the
think he
rough.
was at
Exactly.
11-5. Yeah, and so that's
Yeah.
what I
Trey
like about
Tucker,
him.
DJ
He
Turner, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
And DJ Turner, and that's the other thing. Like DJ Turner did disappear towards the end. We didn't see much about him. I don't know if that was just that we were having a more
Mm.
um like a more scheduled plays and stuff like that, and it wasn't just like next one up or who could do better. It was all set plays. We were doing good, and I just feel like it didn't give them the opportunity to come out.
Yeah.
And then Spillane, we have to bring back. I feel like that was the heart and soul of the defense. I think he had like
for sure.
158 total tackles, 99 solo. That's really good for your linebacker. And I mean, we had the opportunity of seeing, the eye test on him, how much he was everywhere, flying. Like even when he didn't get no stats plays, he made his effort felt in
Yeah,
the
yeah, exactly.
in the plays
Yep,
in the defense.
yep.
So yeah, we did pretty good. I mean, 38 sacks on the year. I wish we had more for the team. That's with losing Crosby. That's with never having Michael Kuntz and also losing
Coons.
Christian
Yep,
Wilkinson.
yep,
So and then Tyree
yep.
Wilson, bright spot, 4.5 sacks. For a backup, he wasn't really even like a starter when the injuries happened. He was still a backup, more of a rotation piece. So 4.5 is
Yeah.
pretty good. And I mean, you and me saw games where he was right there, where he could have had
Right,
three or
right. He
four
could
more
have had.
sacks.
Yep, 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 yep.
And
Yeah, no, for
there's
sure.
other people who got sacks because of what he did. So, he still has a lot of work to move. We have seen a couple missed tackles. We have seen missed sacks. Not too many missed sacks, but he has at least one or two. And, that could have been summed up to like poor tackling, or just even being young.
Yeah,
But he can definitely do some damage. And we just got to see who we bring back. We do have a lot of cap, but we also like
yeah.
having a
There's a
lot
lot
of
of
free
players. Yeah,
agents as
there's a
well.
lot of free
Yeah.
agents, restricted and
Yeah.
unrestricted as well. So, Paul
Exactly.
Mao is one of them. I'm keeping
Yeah.
an eye on that guy,
Yeah.
and
I'm glad he's
yeah,
restricted. So, maybe
yeah,
nobody
he's
is like,
restricted. Yeah,
yeah, nobody like gives him the shot and then,
yeah,
not to be sound like, an asshole. Yeah. I
yeah,
want
yeah.
a shot with the
You
Raiders.
want him to get paid, but yeah, stay
Yeah,
with
but
the
I
Raiders,
want him to
man.
get with the Raiders. Yeah. And then, I mean, you're right about Amir. Is like, it's hard, it's like, yeah, he did great, but, we are getting to older running backs and he is, probably at that stage where they don't want to give multi years. So he's probably going to look for his final,
Yeah,
final big payday, which he does deserve. I just don't know if it's going to come with us.
right.
And then Chasey, what we're going to do with him. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
Chase Young,
gonna
man.
even,
He had a couple sacks and played pretty well a few games.
yeah.
Even
And
as soon as
DN's
he came in,
get
dude, he made an
overpaid.
impact. What was that?
Yeah. And I was gonna say the DNs always get overpaid.
Oh,
Like
I see.
him only having 5 sacks is
Yeah.
he's gonna get,
Oh, I see.
what,
I see. I
12,
see. Yeah,
13,
yeah,
14, 15 mil just for having those sacks.
yeah,
And somebody's gonna use him as a rotation piece. Just want you to do that. So
yeah,
that's where I might be a little worried. But Michael Kuhn's coming back. That's
Michael
another
Coons.
person
Yeah,
I really want to see. And RIP AP, but AP was really, really
yeah. He was
excited
talking
for
about him.
Michael
Yeah,
Kuntz.
he
Yeah,
was
he
talking about
was
him in the
like
press
that was the
conference.
dude that he looked forward to the
Yeah,
most. So yeah, I mean we have people to look out for. We have a team. We're just missing that most important part.
yeah. No, and there's one guy you can't forget about, another rookie, and that's JPJ. All right, he made an
Yes.
impact this season. I
Oh
mean,
my
he was fun to
god.
watch, man.
Yeah,
So
I know a lot of defenders felt his impact.
yeah,
Get this 320-pounder running full speed,
yeah.
trying to throw a block.
I mean, played two
Yeah.
positions this season, bro. His rookie year, so
Yep.
you got to give him
And he
props, man.
and above average as a guard and an excellent
Yeah,
center.
yeah,
Yeah, like he can be our elite center for the
yeah.
rest of our lives.
See, yeah,
20-year
definitely
vet.
for sure,
Yep, and
man.
he's not
JPJ.
super heavy. Yeah, he's athletic, so he doesn't have so much weight carrying around. So we can see him being long lasting. Centers typically, are not the ones that always getting injured. They're pretty much usually very well protected.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I definitely love him as a center. Andre. It depends on what we do with Andre James. If we can't get rid of Andre James, then I could see us putting him as guard because when Andre James came back, they didn't.
yeah.
They shifted Powers back to guard
Didn't miss a
instead of
beat, right? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
didn't miss a
Didn't
beat
miss.
at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I just think they don't trust Andre James as a guard.
yeah.
But if we do get rid of Andre James, then I do see us as Powers like our center, like
That'd be
legit,
dope.
like he's there. Yeah, and he could be like Jason Kelsey from the Eagles. That was the best center,
Yeah,
like for years. Yeah, and you felt the difference in the beginning of the year with the Eagles. If you followed them to play their games,
Uh-huh,
they
uh-huh.
really felt the difference of missing him out, and then they finally got it
They caught
together
up. Yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, but it wasn't
Well,
because it's because a
they
lot of
went to the
people
Super
came in
Bowl
and
and
out.
actually won with Kelsey. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. With
They've yet
Folks
to
and
do that.
Kelsey, yeah,
They got to the Super Bowl,
yeah.
but they didn't pull through on.
They didn't pull through,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
Losing
gonna
to the
be
Chiefs.
for God, those
Yeah. And
Chiefs
then the
guys.
elephant in the room, man. Your buddy,
hmm
your pal, AP.
My coach,
Yeah, your
my ride or
coach.
die,
Yeah.
fire.
Just remember, change is good. Change is good.
Yeah, not.
Manifest the good stuff.
It's just every year it's gonna be a change,
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah.
I feel like this year's gonna be worse because whoever comes in is gonna want to bring in their own, at least their own offensive coordinator. And I think Patrick Graham is probably gonna get hired for either a head coach position or he's just gonna move on from the Raiders because of the
Yeah.
uncertainty.
Well, yeah, that's what he could be the head coach. At least no, but that's just rumors right now, of course.
Yeah,
But they have put in a request to interview Ben Johnson and the defensive coordinator. I forgot his
and
name.
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron
Yeah,
Glenn. There you
Aaron
go.
Glenn. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Change is good. I
Man,
mean,
I
look,
just
Ben Johnson's gonna be a rookie too, right? That's what scares me. I'm like,
yeah,
man.
that's what scares me. Like,
Yeah.
the good thing about Ben Johnson is that I mean the bad thing about Ben Johnson for me is that we haven't seen him develop a quarterback.
Mm,
He's done all of this with golf. Who's by the time he's gotten
for sure.
golf,
He
golf
had
has
already been
already
to the
been to the
Super Bowl
Super
too.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we're asking him, unless that's their plan, that they understand that they're not going to get a quarterback, and then they're going to go with Minshew and AOC, and they want him to work some magic. But if that's the case, like we should have just stuck with AP.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, it's like, and then the other names that are out there, like Vrabel. Okay, Vrabel, I would understand because Vrabel is just like AP, but
Right.
better game management and more experience.
Right. 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 Right.
But they're exactly the same. But if we were not going to get him, like I just don't see like Ben Johnson, like with all these options they have, why pick, us? Like the Patriots, if the Patriots gets Vrabel, okay, well that's one out. But then we're talking about the Giants who have Malik Neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
have a higher draft pick than us. The Titans are keeping their head coach. The Bears, Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
I would take that job over any job right now.
Right.
Like
Well. Yeah.
honestly, even the Jets, like yeah, the Jets are turmoil and they got like a crazy dysfunction, but they got a solid team. They're literally
But
just a
Ryan's gonna
quarterback
take that
away.
though. Isn't
Yeah,
Ryan gonna take that?
yeah. Rex
Rex
Ryan,
Ryan.
that would be dope. They need somebody like that to like fix them.
That's what
Um,
according to Rex Ryan, at least from what I've read, that he's confident that he's going to have that job. And then for the
yeah, that'd
Bears,
be tight. I like
the
Rex.
the Bears they requested to interview Mike McCarthy from the
Yeah,
Cowboys, and the Cowboys
but the
denied it.
Cowboys decline. Yeah, so they're probably gonna re-sign McCarthy. You know what
Which
I'm
is I
saying?
don't understand what the hell.
Yeah,
What are the Cowboys doing? I mean, Cowboys
uh,
suck. I could care less about the
they
Cowboys,
are.
man.
Yeah, it's just funny how you see them. You're like, how are you guys always bad? Like, what is it like? Are y'all doing?
They got
Like,
a
I
solid
understand
team.
us.
They spend the money, but
Yeah,
they just shit the bed.
they just suck.
They
They just
Amber Heard
can't
it.
do it. Yeah, Amber hearded it. But yeah, I feel like the only job that's worse than our job is the Saints job because they're like under 82 million in cap negative. And Carr was like, I ain't taking a pay cut. So they're kind of fucked.
Carr's a yeah. I'm kind of glad we
Yeah.
got rid of Carr.
Yeah,
I
definitely
I
got
don't
rid of
want
them.
Gruden. I don't want Gruden back.
Don't want Gruden. No. I
But
don't
I
I don't
think
want Aaron Glenn.
Vrabel is the number one that I hear being said thrown
Hmm.
around out there.
Yeah.
They've mentioned Pete Carroll and he's like 100,
Oh
and then
man.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
That's
somebody I seen somebody on Twitter, I think it was, or I don't know, some comment somewhere that it could be Pete Carroll, uh, the dude that coached the Jets the first half.
Robert
No,
Sala.
Robert Sala. I was gonna say Masala
Uh,
for some reason.
Masala. I think he plays for the Boston Celtics. He's a coach for the Celtics. Masala.
Yeah, Robert Sala and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Chip Kelly. And I'm like, there's probably two guys I disagree with. But if they bring Ben Johnson, Robert Sala, I don't know. I don't know about the old Chip Kelly. He coached the Niners, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Eagles. And
Ah, yeah, the
they
Eagles.
yeah, he sucks. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's horrible. Unless he's going to be an OC. But even then I'd rather do another OC. Robert Sala as a defensive coordinator
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I'd definitely take that. Like I would definitely take that cuz he's the one who made that Niners defense before he left. And as soon as he left, that Niners defense just, lost a step. So, yeah, I mean,
Wow.
if we're gonna lose Patrick Graham, I
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely would take, yeah,
And that's
him.
another thing
I
I was
also
gonna tell you.
heard,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
mm, I was gonna say, I also heard of Brian Flores,
Yeah.
the Vikings defensive coordinator. He was the Dolphins head coach whenever they got Tua, but he
Yeah.
didn't want to. He actually wanted Herbert, and then the owner forced them to pick Tua, so he kind of was like negative towards it. And so
Mm,
but his defense was legit. But I don't want him as a head coach. I'd rather have AP
just the
because it was the same
defense.
issues. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the same issues. He didn't know how to manage the game, but at least AP knew how to manage the players.
Yeah.
Um, because Tua does not like him. Tua said that he was just all he did was put him down. So I mean, I'm assuming Tua's soft, and Brian Flores was trying to do that, that hard Bill Belichick toughness,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just didn't work.
Yeah.
But that's something that has to be part of being a coach. Like AP had that down. He knew how to talk to his players and all of that. So yeah, that would be the other guy that's a possibility. But I'm with you, man. If it's not Vrabel or Ben Johnson, like what are we doing? Like I heard Bill Belichick, but I just saw another report before we got on that there's no way that Bill Belichick is going to leave UNC right now.
Yeah.
So
No. Exactly. I don't think.
yeah,
So.
and
Yeah.
supposedly the Raiders were one of the teams that reached out to him. Oh, good old Tom Brady.
Tom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's another thing people are saying too, that Tom has a lot to do with this firing.
yeah,
And I think they just see that the coordinators were going to leave. I think
yeah,
that's what they saw. That he's got 1 year left on his contract. I don't. They knew that Patrick Graham was going to go. We all know
yeah,
that, right? So they're
yeah.
going to find a
So it would have
coaching
been
job or
Turner that
something.
stayed.
So
Yeah,
I don't think that they were willing to put up AP to make a choice on a coordinator and probably have the same Getsy issue. I don't know, something like
right.
that, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right. And then
It feels like
yeah,
you can't trust the
and
coach
then
because
if
he made a bad decision already on his
right.
hirings.
Exactly. And then if you do bring in somebody else, you got to give them, a contract. And it's like if you're getting rid of AP, next year,
Yeah,
then you got to deal with getting rid of the defensive coordinator, and that's another person you have to pay. But
yeah.
right now, man, the Raiders are about to pay for 4 head coaches: Gruden, McCuck Daniels, AP, and whoever going to hire in the next few days.
Damn.
That's 4. And here's the other thing about the Vrabel part that pissed me off, bro. Vrabel
Yeah.
wants his OC to be McDaniels. That's not gonna work as a Raider if he becomes a Raiders head coach.
Why the
Like,
fuck?
you don't know that the fans are gonna boo this man. Like, the team already hates this dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have people coming over that don't despise this dude. And
Damn.
it's
If
like
that's the that's just
you can't have
bad.
McDaniels as the OC. And like if that's what it's gonna be, then we just can't have
Then
Vrabel.
Mark, you need to
And
sell
then
the team.
yeah, bro, like because that's it, man. If it ain't AP and it ain't Ben Johnson, I
Yeah.
don't want. We should have just kept AP. And that's just how I feel about it. So I was kind of shocked, and then the fact
Yeah.
that they didn't do it like on Monday, they let him do like
Yeah,
the
press
media
conference, right?
stuff,
Like I thought it was gonna be.
and it's like
Yeah,
so dysfunctional,
yeah,
bro. And so, yeah, I mean, like the Raiders had supposedly some closed door meeting, and Mark was like super fond of AP, but apparently this has something made change his mind the last 24 hours, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
decided to fire him. So I'm assuming Brady Telesco came up to him and was like, hey, this is what's happening. We shouldn't do this. Blah blah blah. And so
That's
let's just get
crazy,
rid of
bro.
AP.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
sad day.
Well,
You lost the Raider. The fact that he was actually a Raiders fan, grew up in LA. This one does hurt a little. And me, I was rocking with AP.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like he got the short end of the stick not having the quarterback.
That's exactly
And
it. Yeah,
if we're blaming that the quarterback was the issue, who's the one that side guarded Minshew?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
who
yeah,
made
yeah.
all those decisions?
There's no
Like
doubt.
AP
There's
didn't
no
pick
doubt.
the
There's a
players.
sense of that
Hmm.
he was set up for failure, and
Yeah,
it's messed up to
yeah.
have him go out the way he did. They should have just told him, hey, look,
Hmm.
right after that game, but at the
Yeah, it was
same
like, hey man, we
time,
just got to go a different route.
yeah, at the same time, I
Yeah,
mean, hoping that they can land Ben Johnson or they can land someone solid that is not going to overhaul the roster.
yeah.
So,
Right.
you know, we'll see.
Exactly. Yeah. It's gonna be tough, man.
Yep.
It's gonna be another tough off season.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then we have the number 6 pick. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
right. We
what are we
didn't say
doing with
anything
that?
about the pick, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. At this
The
point, I think it's in the
positiveness of
backdrop right
losing.
now. We got to see what coach we got. If I think you got to
Yeah.
that's only determined by what kind of coach we have, right?
Exactly. If we get a coach like Harbaugh where they want to run, then they're going to get an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
Banks from Texas at number 6. I
yeah,
could see that happening. Have him play guard, and then we have Powers, down at center, and then Andre James as a backup, and then whoever else is left, they can play the other guard position. But if we get an offensive guy that wants a receiver, we'll get a receiver, or maybe we go after one free agency. So, then,
yeah.
or we get a linebacker. Like if Aaron Glenn is our coach, I could see he was a corner for the Saints. I could see him going after Will Blackman, or something like that. Or even the safety, Starsky. I can't remember his name. I think ends with an S, but he's supposed to be like a blue chipper, like a blue
Hmm.
chip safety player. Like I can actually make a difference on your defense. So, there's options, but
Yeah.
the glaring need is quarterback. I do
Yep.
know we need other positions,
Yep.
help as well, but we need that
Hey, but
quarterback.
people are saying that we can move up in the draft and we can still get Shador, and because Brady is the mentor of Shador, from what I heard on the
Yeah.
I think it's the Patrick
Right?
show.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah,
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely is a mentor. I mean, and Dion's respects him a lot, so he really
yeah,
likes him.
yeah.
And he's a winner, and he did it the right way. Brady,
Right.
he did the team mentality idea first. How to work ethic and all of that. So that's the guy you do want around your
Hmm.
son if your son's being a quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, man.
But I don't know how he'll feel about this firing. I mean, I think I saw somewhere where he was still like like wanting his son to get drafted by us.
Yeah,
But I did know he liked AP, and that's another black coach
but
being fired. And
that just comes with a business. So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
Every coach knows that. I mean, you're
yeah,
in one day, and I mean, look at how Josh ended, right? Josh McDaniels, right? I mean, the fans hated him. And
yeah.
they
That
just
was
the
the
minute he
he was
stepped into the
horrible.
building, like everybody hated him. Nobody
Yeah,
liked
it
that
just
hiring.
sucked there. Yeah,
So
yeah. He was an
it's just
energy
not fair.
vampire.
Sometimes you're in this. You're a
Yeah,
celebrity, bro. You get paid well. So yeah,
yeah, that's true.
I'm
Yeah,
not
and I
mad.
just thought
I
like
don't feel
everybody
bad.
loving him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought everybody loving him was gonna like keep it there because everybody said like, man, after we're going through that ten
Oh, I
game
see.
losing streak, he
Yeah.
kept us together. He kept us
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and I was like, you want that, but then at the same time, it's like when you really hear that sentence, it's like we went through a 10 game losing streak. You're like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
that's horrible too. Like,
And it doesn't matter.
and
That's not the
yeah,
coach's job to baby the player. You're supposed to
yeah.
win.
Supposed to get everything out of it,
Yeah.
which that's what Vrabel did. He did
Yeah.
with that quarterback that was nobody. I forgot his name, and Henry as that was it. And they
Hmm.
kept on winning the number one seed, or at least winning, the AFC South.
Yeah.
And it was just Tannehill with Tannehill as the quarterback, and
Tannehill.
he kept
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Obviously once they got in the playoffs, you saw the actual
You
like
saw the
why
cracks. Yeah.
Tannehill was bad. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so, but that's what you want out of your coach. That's his job. GM is supposed to get the players, and the coach is supposed to get everything out of
Yeah.
that player.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so which
Crazy.
if
Crazy.
AP did
Crazy.
that or not, it's up to the way they saw it. Because effort and actually getting the best out of somebody is two different things.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can. it's just the effort. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I could play effort, but are you playing smarter? Are you coaching them correctly? What in those crunch clutch moments, like where's their mentality at? And in the end, that's what really got AP hit with the most was those mismanagements. So who knows, man? I just I'm just tired of these changes, man. Like
Yeah.
when we had Carr, we had like 4 or 5 different OCs and coaches in like his first 5 years. And it's like we need some type of continuality. We got Tom Brady.
Continuity. Yeah,
He
yeah, I
just
get
came
you.
from a system where everything is continuing, and we're doing all of this. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
So,
no, but like I said, it change can be a good thing, and I'm hoping because Tom Brady is at the helm of this, he's like, forget this. We got players now, and
yeah,
just need a coach that is gonna. Yeah, maybe we can't, bet everything on an unknown player that we're gonna draft,
right, right, right.
and we need a coach that's gonna train AOC. Uh, that's my outcome. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm hoping
yeah,
he's not here to bring in his freaking Patriots away
right,
and smother all this
yeah,
Patriots BS crap. I don't want
right,
my owner to go
yeah,
to a strip club and get massages, okay?
right.
I don't want him to get
Exactly.
caught on video
I don't
doing
want
that.
to. He's already got bad prep. He's got a
Yeah,
bad haircut.
he's already
He
got a
hired a
bad
racist
haircut.
coach.
He already makes bad decisions. Like, Al Davis
Yeah,
didn't
like how
really
you
want him. The wrong child
right?
died.
He was like, get that haircut, so I don't want anybody to think you're my son.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I didn't see much of Mark until Al Davis died. It's like,
So
dang, once Al
yeah.
Davis passed away, they finally let Mark out of the attic. That's
I
the
mean,
one eyed
Al was
Cyclop
not.
baby.
Al was bro. He had one tooth left, and he was still
Yeah,
on. He looked like Tales from the Crypt.
right.
It's- I'm sorry, R.I.P. Al Davis, man. We
Oh
love you.
my god, yeah, Al Davis, yeah, man, that's our guy. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And,
But yeah,
yeah,
and so I think what my mind is telling me, if we go Vrabel or Ben Johnson, would be that we go get Kirk Cousin. Just because he's Ben Johnson has built a system for a quarterback that was once successful, so he helped rehabilitated
yeah,
him. And then Vrabel, we'll see what he's done with Tannenhill. He can get the best out of
yeah.
the players.
Best out of
So
yeah.
that's where I think that would be. If we go those two, we're probably going after Kirk.
Hmm.
Because how do you tell the Raiders fans? Not only did we fire AP, but we're also going to go with the exact same quarterback situation that we did.
It's tough.
Because then that just
It's a
brings me
tough
back
one.
to why didn't we just keep AP if that was the case? If we're going in with the same situation, why not keep AP
Yeah,
and see if he can turn
there
it
has to
around?
be. I mean, look, first we got to get the coach, then we'll see where
Yeah,
we're headed. I don't think the plan is to bring in Minshew because and AOC and do this. And if they are, I think they'll definitely draft better linemen or
yeah,
a better receiver and definitely some better defense players on the draft. Spend that draft
hmm
that way, and then
yeah,
move on to the other things and see if the coach can do what he can do. But
yeah,
that's I mean I'm being hopeful, man. I'm being I'm trying to be
yeah. I mean, we
positive here.
have
I
to
know it
be.
sucks. It sucks to see
Yeah,
AP, but to be honest, yeah, man, it was too many mistakes, too many
it
inexperienced
was.
mistakes. And
Yeah,
another thing that he may have not had or have a big ring in the NFL. Like let's say he wants to bring in so and so offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator after Graham
right,
leaves. And that's another
right,
thing, right? Who can work with this guy,
right,
blah, blah,
right.
blah. And so it's on the organization to find that match. And that's probably something
Yeah.
they weren't willing to deal with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's right. It's just that is true. And in the end, like the owners want somebody that they can go and have drinks with. Somebody that they can relate to. So
Hmm.
in the end, that's what it comes down to as well.
Yeah. That's what I
Him,
see.
Brady, and Vrabel can be all in at each other's houses. With the wives and the kids. And everything's the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Or Vrabel comes in or Ben Johnson, same thing. They can have him over for lunch and their expectations are going to be the same instead of a different culture of a head coach. So that's just what it is, man. Like
Yeah.
It's just.
It's rich people.
I mean, we
shit.
do
Who
it every
cares?
year. I mean, was it 5 years in a row that we're talking about new head coaches? So,
Yeah.
like the
So.
last time we had stability was Gruden, and that tells you.
Nah, Del Rio, dude. Del Rio. He
Oh
played.
yeah, Del
Yeah,
Rio.
Jack Del Rio. Come on, man.
Yeah, and they
That's my
had
guy. He's
one
from
bad
Hayward,
season. Yeah.
Hayward, California. Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
Well, yeah, man. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments
Raiders.
below. Like the button, and let us know what you think about.
yeah,
the
we'll
next
still
coach.
be here for the playoffs.
We'll
Yeah,
still
leave
be
your
here
comments
for the
for anything you want to see in the show for next year, or just tell us how good we are, how great we are, and yeah, Raiders.
Alrighty.
Watch them.
Raider personnel.
Raiders.